Hi guys, this is Shannon with Shannon McTighe Photography. I wanted to hop on here and edit this photo with you with the Fleetwood collection for Lightroom. Let's scroll to the top here. So this photo was taken during Blue Hour in Rocky Mountain National Park. And we actually still had about another hour and a half left of light, but it had set behind the mountain here, so we had this soft blue light everywhere. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to start up here. It is a little bit underexposed, but not much. And I'm just going to pick which one makes the most sense. I think I'm going to start with brighter 2. I can always come back and make it brighter or darker depending on what I pick down here, but that's what I'm going to start with for right now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip the adaptive brushwork and I'm going to jump down here to the clean tone enhancement section. And I'm going to go ahead and just hover over each one and see which ones I like. Which I like a lot of them. Oh, I love that one. I like that one too. I think I'm going to do turned around. And then I'm going to jump down here to the artistic color gradient section. And I'm going to hover over and see which ones add that little extra pop. I like that. Oh, I like that one. I think I'm going to do U Boulder quite a bit. I like that it's just a little bit warmer and the greens aren't too neon with that one. So I'm going to do that. I am going to come up here. We are at 100% opacity and I'm just going to drop it though to about 67%, just so it's a little less strong. Perfect. And now I'm going to come up here to the adaptive brushwork section. I'm going to pick which one makes the most sense. So for this one, I think I'm either between clean and then I want to see what subject light magenta looks. And honestly, I like that one a lot more. It gives just a little more magenta to the skin. So I'm going to click subject light magenta. And then the background, I do want to warm it up. So I know I'm going to do a background depth warmth and hit play. And I like that quite a bit. So now that I have done all of that with the presets, I'm ready to play around with my brushes quite a bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is come right over here. And I'm going to create a mask and I'm going to get just a big radial gradient because my shadows are pretty dark. I'm just going to get a big old circle right there. And I am going to brighten my shadows, which I think is going to end up pretty bright, which it did. And then I'm going to lower it a little bit. Again, I'm going to move it around. I might even extend it more. The reason I'm doing it this way is I like the idea of it feathering out from the subject. So about right there. Then I'll lower the shadows down to about 43. So then that's before and that's after, and I really like that. The next thing I want to do is I want to kind of help get the neon out of the grass. So I'm going to get a brush and I'll keep my flow and density about 90. And I'm going to just brush over the grass. I'm not worried at all about going over the subject. I will erase it off of them in a moment. I'm just right now trying to go over my grass. Anywhere that feels like it got too saturated. And then under the preset, I'm just going to come down here for the masking and I'm going to pick color drop, which is going to desaturate it a little bit. And then I can still see some of the greens that are too neon right there. And even right there. And then I like it, it's just too desaturated. So I'm going to lower the opacity of it to about right there. About 6, I'll do 50. So this is before, this is after. And then I'm going to subtract it off my subject. That way anything that got desaturated on them, that it will take it off. And the next thing I want to do is I do want to warm up the background. So I am going to select my background. And I am going to go to the mask that says warm up. And it's just going to warm up that entire background. Obviously it's too warm. So again, I'm going to adjust my slider here. And about right there at 20. So that's before and that's after. I love that. There we go. The next thing I want to do is I want to accentuate the light that's coming in from this top left side. Where you can't see is there's a big mountain on the left side here and we had this soft light coming down. So I'm going to create a mask. I'm going to get a radial gradient. I'm going to put it right here. I can always move it if I don't like it where I put it. And then I could do like a soft light, but I want to do the haze because the way it comes through the mountain, it creates this cool hazy light. So I'm going to try to match what I saw. So I like that. I'm going to angle this a little like there. Yeah, I'm going to angle it back this way, I think. There, I like that. And then I'm going to click subtract subject. Perfect. And then the next thing I want to do is I just want to soften the mountains just a little bit more. So I'm going to create a mask. I'm going to do a linear gradient. I'm going to go from the top and I'm just going to bring it down to about right there. And then I'm going to pick the background blur. And I do like what it did to it. I'm going to subtract subject. And then I'm just going to lower the amount of it. That way it's not that extreme. But I do like that it made it just a little softer back there. Perfect. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to come right here. I'm going to select people. And I'm going to select the little guy. This little man had the most beautiful eyes. So I'm going to select his iris and pupil, create mask. And then I'm going to pick catch light. It's going to make it pretty bright since his eyes were already bright to begin with. And I'm just going to lower the amount of that to about right there at 40. Perfect. The next thing I'm going to do is soften their skin. So I'm going to create another mask, select people. I'm going to select both people and click facial skin and body skin and hit create mask. And then right here under preset custom, I'm going to click skin glow. I have a feeling it's going to look a bit dramatic on them. It's a little too much, and I'm just going to lower the amount again. So I'm going to bring it down to about 25%. So this is before and this is after. It does give them a little more light on their skin, but it also softens it. And then again, I'm going to grab another mask. I'm going to get a radial gradient. And I'm going to get a big old circle about right there and place it right in the middle. And then I'm going to click contrast, boost. And the reason I'm doing this instead of just the background is I love the way it feathers from the middle out. So I'm going to click subtract subject. And then I know the background has that boost of contrast and it's just more intense towards them and kind of feathers out. Perfect. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to select people, and I think I'm going to, let's do this. Let's select all people. Let's select close and create a mask. And then I'm going to come right down here and I'm just going to do a color pop. It's going to make it a bit dramatic. I'll have to lower the amount. Yeah. So I'll start at 0 and I'm just going to slowly pull it up, and it's not going to take much. Like 30 is good to me. And then the next thing I want to do is select people again, and I want to sharpen my details. So I'm going to select all. I'm going to click close, teeth, lips, and my eyes, and create a mask. And then I am going to pick sharpen details. Perfect. Then I'll close out my masking and all the sharpening has been done. And then the very last thing is right here, you can still make adjustments. So like if you need to increase your exposure, increase your shadows, you can warm it up. So I may at the end just add a tiny bit of warmth here, a tiny bit of magenta, like very little right there. And then I may even pull up the shadows just a tiny bit, and you can even make adjustments anywhere you want. But I look at that and I'd call that good. I really like it. So I'll show you the before and after. Oh, there we go. So there's your before and there's your after. And I hope you learned a lot and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, you want to learn more about the Fleetwood collection, just go to www.greaterthangatsby.com.